All right, now let's switch base now and discuss product designing. And I know it's like a common topic now, especially for startups, small businesses, and now it's how to scale from local insight to global relevance. Because of course we know that the world is a global village. If you want to thrive, then you have to go beyond the borders of your geographical location. Well, that's what Dami is here to talk to us about. Dami Ojetunji is a products designer right here in the studio. Hi, Dami, welcome to the program.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Same here. So, Dami, everybody's talking about product designing now, and I'm wondering, do we have new products or what's really going on?
Like I said earlier, I feel like these are conversations we need to have, especially when it comes to inclusion and diversity in tech. One of the sad things about tech and most male-dominated industry is people don't really see people that look like them talk about the issues. So I'm more than happy to, talk about product design any day, anytime.
So when we say product design,
yes.
Obviously tech, AI,
Yes.
taking over the world. Is it software? Is it hardware? What is it really?
It is software. It's usually called UI UX design, but in my case, I call it product design because I think beyond the designing, right? I'm thinking about the users. I'm thinking about their local context, right? What does this user want to see? What would a random market woman interpret this icon as, right? So that's why I feel like, okay, it's product design. I'm designing a software, making somebody's life easy, solving their basic issue. It could be like a financial issue, trying to make basic
like what?
transactions.
Give us, like if you paint a picture.
Yeah.
Talk about financial issue.
I think one of the best examples I can give right now is MoneyPoint. MoneyPoint has tapped into the local market, right?
Especially I would prefer if you don't mention a brand.
Oh, apologies for that. So that company has tapped into the local market, and that's because they're solving a very unique problem, right? And that's kind of what product design embodies.
Okay, so this is a career path,
of course,
for people like you, and it's a future career path because the way of tomorrow, the future is AI and technology. Do we have this in our schools to prepare people to come up to this, or is it something you get out of school and then you have to get additional knowledge to be able to function here?
Unfortunately, it's not. When you're in university or secondary school, for example, you're being told there are 3 parts you have to go through. You're either in the arts or the science or the commercial. And if you're in commercial, you go to finance. If you're in the arts, you be a lawyer. If you're in science, you have to be a doctor. Especially me, for example, I have a very unconventional background. I'm a trained architect. And I went to product design because I felt like I wanted to impact in areas where people are not really noticed and figured out about, basically. And I feel like the schools and communities could do a lot better to, talk to the young ones, try and figure out what they like.
When you say young ones, what level?
I want to say children, secondary school, try and explore their interests.
Because they do coding in
yes.
primary schools now.
That's fairly new, no?
Yeah, it is. But I mean, it could prepare the mind of the young ones to embrace what's ahead in the future.
Yeah.
But then you have to follow through because you don't just do coding in primary school and then maybe a bit of it in secondary school. And then when you get to the university, as you said, it's science, art,
commercial.
Commercial. So a lot seems to be needed when it comes to preparing individuals to have a path in what's relevant in the future.
Of course. I definitely agree with that. I think I'm really excited about the new generation of people being shown the possibilities of what their interests or their hobbies could actually give them or afford them, right? So a child that is very interested in robots, you're thinking of, do I want to do machine learning? Do I want to do AI? Do I want to create devices for physically challenged people to navigate the world like you and I would without any injustice or any discrimination? I'm so excited for them, and I can't wait to see what the next decade brings.
I know, right?
Yes.
But in all of this, we have to be relevant.
Of course.
Or they have to be relevant, solving the problem in your, first of all, environment before you look at the world. And does it look like, I mean, talking about the trends now, does it look like we have this setup to make the children look inwards, to solve the problems that we have and not looking,
Fetch
you know
around.
what I mean.
Yes, yes, of course. Again, it still goes back to what I said at the beginning about having conversations like this. Having children see people that look like them taking the very unconventional path. If you think about it, in the last 10 years, tech wasn't really what it is now. They'll be like, oh, do you want to sit down at home and press laptop? What are you doing?
You want to be Yahoo?
We hope not.
No, that's what the picture that was painted.
There's
Then
just
once
a
you're always on the laptop
exactly,
and everything.
Exactly. So that's why we need to have these conversations, right? So I'm talking about how I, came from very unconventional background and I figured out, okay, this is what I want to do.
So at what point did you switch?
At what point? I think I wanted to merge both the creativity and the technicality. And the path I found was just product design. If you know architecture very well, it's very hands-on, very technical. You're on site, you're doing snag reports, there isn't enough avenue for creativity, except when you're like set up in your career. It takes a while to get to that point where you want to do whatever you want to do. And I couldn't find that path, when thinking about it in the long run. And product design. We're doing this for 5 years now.
So when you look at the trend, I mean, there are a lot of individuals like you who've come through school and see, oh, this is what I really love to do. This is what has demand, for the future and all of that. When you see the trend, what sectors, what areas of relevance do you think they should be looking, assuming that some of them are watching now?
Honestly, I think the big one now is AI. Sadly, I saw a joke the other day about how we've gone to school for 16 plus years and now AI is taking our jobs. The big one is AI, but I really would like to drive the communication around spatial technology. So if you're familiar with products that are designed for virtual reality and augmented reality, there is a vast amount of things that could be done with that. So from health tech, virtual reality can help them with performing surgeries or doing like communication consultations, or using AI and virtual reality spatial technologies for navigation and transportation, right? So one of the very early design exploration I did was imagining people in a very crowded concert area and trying to find their friends. You could use virtual reality to point around the crowd and see, oh, this is where my friend is, So I would say, of course, AI is there. Of course, there's a fear of it taking our jobs. But I would say let's explore around, augmented reality, spatial design, spatial technologies, and I think we have a fantastic place to go.
Where do we fix this into issues? I'm looking at the economic challenges we have,
course, yes.
like food security, like insecurity, like since we don't have a lot of infrastructure for trading, is there a way we can build things around this? I know some time ago I spoke to someone who does virtual reality for real estate. So you don't have to physically go to a place. You can project it and the customer can look at it.
Yes.
Do we have a way of fixing that into the agriculture sector, the issue of insecurity? These are major issues that we're facing.
Yes, definitely. I mean, that's why we need to start looking into, our local nuances and things that we are really dealing with, right? So, for example, I mentioned defining your friends in a concert. So that could easily apply to security, or that could easily apply to, just basic stuff. Okay, is my crop going to grow this year? I project it on the soil and trying to see like the soil composition and stuff like that. I think it's just, the world is big, the sky is big for us to like explore the different applications as long as we have a beginning and a starting point.
Yeah. All right, but I hope the challenge of internet penetration, power, electricity will not hold us back.
I think that's where product design comes in, and that's why it stands out from UI, UX design. They're very interesting considerations as a product designer. For example, I am thinking about, because I'm designing for the African markets, the basic African user or the random local user doesn't have strong enough internet. Those are the cases where I start considering, do I need this much images on the app? Let me just write the text. I think that's what makes us stand out a little bit more, just considering very local base roots nuances that can actually improve it. I think that's what I do.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
sharing.
Thank you for
Product
having me.
designer Dami Ojetunji, for your time.
Thank
And wish
you.
you the best.
Thank you.